Okay, so let's take a look at the SX Tablet 8W. What we have here is a kind of an office configuration. We have a monitor, an external monitor, running an HDMI cable. So we're running the mini or micro HDMI adapter. So you can buy these at an electronics shop. It allows you to run the HDMI cable out of the SXTab. So it has a slot for mini, and it's a little bit temperamental with the rubber protective slop that gives it the IP rating for the port. So typically when I come back to the office, I'll plug in my HDMI cable. I'm also using, as a way to kind of increase the usability, the interactivity, and increase my office performance, I'm using a USB 3 adapter, a 4-port Insignia USB travel hub. These work great. I also have a wireless mouse. It gives me the interactivity. I could also run a wireless keyboard. I'm running a wired keyboard in this case, but what this allows me to do is to work in the office and work in a much larger environment. So these are great additions if you're in the field and you need to do some quick calculations, move some files around, do some checking. This is a great way to do it. So what I have here is I have my mouse. So here I'm running Field Genius. So I'm running my tablet. If I need to check its connectivity, if I need to check the settings, so this makes it really convenient. If I need to do some work with some of the Wi-Fi or Bluetooth or connections, I can go ahead and do that. So this one right now says that it has no SIM card. So that's kind of what we want to look at today. What you have here in front of me, you'll see I have the 3 versions of the SIM card. So I'll get these ready for you here. So we have the standard version. Okay, so when you buy it, you're going to get these 3 basically together. So you're going to get the micro, and it's going to come inserted, and then you're going to get the nano. So the nano now, so when you buy your card, it's going to look like that. You're going to pop out whichever piece your slot needs. Okay, so in our case, a phone would require the nano version. We need the middle version, we need the micro version. So we're going to snap this piece back in. Now my own little best tip here is if you're taking these apart often, use a nice flat surface here to get that back in. Don't destroy it. I also I never throw away those pieces. So in the event that you do break one, you can go back to your internet provider and they can give you additional ones. So I usually keep them as a spare in case I need to put them back in. Now you'll notice on the back side it has the tabs on it. So what I want to make sure I insert this properly. So as we can see right now in the display that the SIM card was not inserted. So I've got it turned on, I've got it enabled, I've got it powered up. I'm going to flip it over to the right hand side. On the top is going to be the 2 slots. The bottom slot is going to be for the memory card, the TF slot, and the top part. So if you're looking at it, the power buttons are on the top and the top slot. If you look at the markings on the port, you'll notice that it also has some little indicators on where the cutout is and whether you're running a micro, you're running a memory card, or whether you're running a SIM card. So the SIM card is going to run on the side, and we're going to have a look at the settings here. So it's going to run face up. If you pay attention to the little graphic, it's going to run face up with the memory slot facing out. So here we have it properly. We're going to then insert it. Now, depending on the size of your fingers, so let me see, you can see it there. We're going to insert that in carefully. And you're going to hear it click. If you're not sure it clicked, you can pop it out again and you can pop it back in. So once you have it in, I usually just leave the slot until I'm convinced that I've got it set in right. It may or may not pick up the first time. So in this case, I'm going to just double check in my notification area. So in my notification area, that's the bottom right hand corner, I'm going to see if it's picked up on the cellular. Now the cellular is on, but it may not be indicating that there's cellular present. So it's looking for it. So what I've discovered, it tends to, Windows 10 sometimes will pick up right away. Other times it just needs a restart. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and restart this. So I'm going to turn the power button, I'll hold it for 3 seconds. It's going to say power down, yes. Now you could have initiated that shutdown procedure from Windows. We're going to turn it back on, hold the power button. The red light's going to indicate that it's starting to power back up. It'll take about a minute to get back into a login mode. Depending on whether you have your HDMI cable already inserted, when you go to power it up, it may actually power up for display on your external display first. It'll recognize it may not run in a dual display mode or a clone mode. That's okay. So in this particular session, we'll let it continue its startup. We're going to swipe up to log in. If you have a password, you'll enter it now. Okay, so we're going to verify that we did get that it recognized the SIM. So it's getting ready. So you can see it's recognized my Bell chip. It says getting ready. So notification area. It's showing me 1 bar, which is not the best service area. It may pick up a little bit of coverage once it gets rolling here. So it's checking my account, make sure my card is active. And I'll just do a little verification. So I'll make sure that my Wi-Fi is not running. I'll turn off my Wi-Fi and I'll launch a web browser just to confirm that my connection is correct. So I'll find whatever browser is installed on the device. I'll use the Action Center. So you can use the touchscreen if you like. I'm using the mouse. I'm going to scroll down to Windows and run Windows Internet Explorer. And let's confirm that we can do a little search. Let's just see what we can find. So we're successfully connected to the internet. Our device now has a fully functional SIM card. My Wi-Fi is turned off and we are ready to roll. So if you need to remove your SIM card, so if you're using it temporarily, so we're going to remove it as well. So now we've got an active connection. I'm going to remove it. And the removal process, although it's pretty straightforward generally, what we're trying to pay attention to is the fact that the SIM card slot is quite small. So I'm going to look at the side. And I'm going to notice that I can probably get it to pop out like I did before. What we're going to see is I have a pair of tweezer pliers, and I put a little bit of hockey tape, something that's not slippery, but it gives a little bit of traction. And I'm going to reach in and pull that out. So don't don't damage the card, don't damage the slot. And if you do this carefully, there'll be no scratches, no marks. And if you need to use your SIM card for something else. Okay, so that's working fine. I'm going to try it again. I'm going to pop it right back in. If it's been used previously, so if I pop it back in, and I'll give it a second to see if it will recognize. So if it doesn't recognize, so it says insert SIM in the notification area. In the event it's not picking up on it's not running the adapter right away, what you can do once again is restart the machine. So you can use the Windows features to start it. Sometimes it'll pick right up. you can go to the settings on the cellular device, and you can go in your options and check your options depending on whether you have a kind of card, whether you want to permit roaming or no. And you can tell how to behave if cellular is poor. If you're using this for an N-trip connection, you'll have to, and there's no Wi-Fi available unless you're running a hotspot on your phone, which is redundant a little bit in that sense if you're using a SIM card in your device. So I can initiate the restart sequence by using the start button. So I could also do that on the tablet by doing it manually. I'll just do a restart. So on the touchscreen, it's going to do a restart. And once again, we'll be back in business. So that's how you go putting in the SIM card in a Genic SXTab 8W. Hope this helps.